Good day, everybody. It's Terry over here in Hollow. Spent a good part of the day building these 4x4 chicken pens. Got this one right here I just finished. Other than putting a door in it, putting a roof on it, and a roost post. It's like this one right here. I already got the door cut out. Piece of plywood on top. It's the same thing. Anyway, there's a lot of people that know me that know that I really love game roosters. I like the hens too, but the roosters are gorgeous. And I just love the heart that they have and the stamina. My turkey y'all is showing off today. What y'all think about that? And there's this girl. I guess the main thing was, I was talking to some friends last night and we got into a discussion on ideas for videos. Now, I don't try to make a whole lot, maybe once a week, twice a week, maybe 3 times tops, because I run out of things to talk about. And I'm so diverse on the things I do, every day is different. But the topic we had last night was, he was asking me about a good reason or a good idea to make a video, and I said, well, why don't you do a video on how and why you started into these birds and what keeps you going? I said, just for fun, why don't you tag some people in the video like we see on all the other videos? Homesteaders do it all the time. They tag each other, asking why you homestead, what's your favorite things about homesteading and such. And I thought it'd be a pretty good idea. Should have known, yeah, I would have been tagged too. So my buddy over there, Hunter Betty, over there at Flying Dutchman Lofts, and Bradley Popel from Popel's Pigeons, me and Bradley got tagged by Hunter. So I guess I'm going to go into it. Hold on. Man, I want to sweep up this floor, and I'm going to really soon. I see Splash's kids. One of them's like white, one's got some blue in it, just like Splash. Splash is so pretty. I guess I'll get into it right here. Why I got into pigeons. I can honestly say I'd have to give my brother credit for it. Just for the fact that I believe him and my other brother Danny were actually racing pigeons with Cumberland Valley Racing out of Hagerstown, Maryland. I lived in North Carolina. I had chickens and I had some turkeys, and I didn't know nothing about pigeons. But I remember coming up and visiting one time, and when I went back, yeah, I had some pigeons. Splash is going back on our kids over there. Well, I remember they were homing pigeons, and they were all different colors. They weren't just, like Splash over there. They weren't just a gray and a barred and a check. They were brown and white, white and black. They were almost all different colors. And the property that I was renting at the time had a big, I guess you could say not actually a barn, but a really big shed that I had divided into 2 sections. One section my birds would go up, my chickens and stuff would go up and sleep at night, and the other section I was raising my pigeons, which I was told, don't fly them or you'll never see them again. And I will say, over the course of the time that I had them, a couple of them did get out, and I never saw them again. But I'll also say, a lot of them bred babies. And when I got up a really good group, I must have had 10 or 12 that I was flying. Then I would open the door and let them fly, and they would come back whenever they felt like it, they'd come back into the loft, and I'd lock them back up. I remember I was living in Durham County in North Carolina, and every morning I would have to ride into Durham, the city of Durham, and work. I worked at a glass company down there called Durham Glass. So what I did was, some mornings I would get up early, and I'd hang out on my porch, and I would go out there and I'd let them out. And I'll tell you, it was the neatest thing when I'd be driving 2 or 3 miles down the road from my house heading to work and look up, and I know that flock of pigeons was my flock of pigeons. And I mean, they were kicking and they were way out there. When I had to move, to tell you the truth, I don't remember what I did with them. This old age is kicking in, and I forget half the things that I did back then. Thank God. But that was about it. After a while, I think I wound up heading to Pennsylvania, and I remember there was a flight club in Pennsylvania, down in the area where I lived at. I lived in Altoona for a little while. And let me tell you, that's a dirty little city. I never liked it. I didn't want to stay, and I didn't. But I'd left there, and I went back to North Carolina, and I got into game roosters. And let me tell you, when I say I got into it, I got into it. I had a bunch of other chickens. I had Ronald Reds, Dominics, Barred Rocks. I had all kinds of mixed up chickens, egg layers, and I was breeding them and selling them, all different breeds. And I would go to the flea market on the weekends, and I was getting $5, maybe $7, $10 a piece for them and all. But I remember there was a couple guys down the road from me that had game fowl. I remember because they had all these little teepees and all these little pens all over their fields, and I was really, really intrigued. Let's put it that way. And due to my girlfriend at the time, due to her job, I was able to meet these guys. She worked at the nearby convenience store, and we found out who the guys were, and I made friends with them. And that's actually the same guy who gave me the birds I had today, the ones when I went down to North Carolina the other day and brought back. But even so, years go long. I got out of the birds and everything pretty much. And right before I moved here to West Virginia, I went to a flea market and I'd bought some birds. And some of them I had in a pen and I let them fly. And I got some more, and I remember I built a loft. And I put them in the loft, and it wasn't long before I was opening the loft and letting them fly. Well, that was a mistake. Because most of them got up in the trees. They didn't know, I had no settling cage. They didn't know where to go back in. They didn't know nothing. And I lost just about every single bird I had. So, after a while, not too long after that, I moved here to West Virginia and moved into a house where, man, if your grass was out of whack, you would be getting letters in the mail from the homeowners association. They really loved to complain about me, just because one of the presidents of it was lived right across the street, and everything I did, being a country boy and building things and having old vehicles in the driveway, well, I wasn't allowed to do all that. So we moved into a place that I'm at now, and my brother, he's big into pigeons, and we started going to shows together and everything before I even bought a single bird. He was my biggest mentor with it. He's really helped me out a lot by giving me advice. A little bit, I think it was December 2017. I got some homing pigeons from a guy from the Cumberland Valley Racing Club, and I brought them here and I built my first kit box, which was a 4x8 box with some nesting boxes in it. And let me tell you, it didn't work out well. I don't know what these birds had. No matter what I treated them with, every baby would get to a certain size and it would die. Splash is the only one out of all those babies, which I'm sure there was 25 to 30 of them, that survived. And now she's got 2 babies over there on the floor. So that's why she's one of my favorites. I've had her longer than anybody else. But then I always wanted to have the whites, so I started picking up whites here and there. And luckily I've ran into a few people that gave me some really good whites. Because a lot of these are Beldams, Klepniks, I believe, in here. Some I don't know, because the first ones I got, the guy didn't even know. He just said they were white homing pigeons. And in the other loft, I have all my Jansons, which I have some babies in there now. But anyway, that's pretty much how I got into it. I love the whites, and I want to do the release business on top of everything else I do around here. Any way I can make some money, I'm there, But anyway, why I stay in it? Because I actually love to watch my birds fly. I love taking them away. I love bringing them back. I think it's funny that the people in my church call me Birdman. When we got married last September, I released birds from my church. Not only did the people at church know I had birds, but they got to see firsthand what we do with these guys. I love it. I've got rollers. I've got tipplers. And here later, when it's time, I'll start flying my rollers and I'll start flying my tipplers. But right now, everybody's breeding, and I'm letting nobody out. Tell them, Splash. Nobody's getting out. But anyway, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's how I got into it. That's why I stay in it. I think this is one of the greatest sports you can do. It takes a lot of takes a lot of responsibility to do this stuff. You have to be here every day when you don't want to be, when it's cold outside. You know, they're cold too. Food and water, which I will be feeding him really soon. But it doesn't really matter right now. They'll be getting theirs. And I'll get everybody straight. So I guess this is the part where I tag somebody. And I hope that they will play along, so to say. Play along with this game. I think it's great to get others involved. And I think it's even more so better to involve them in this. YouTube is a big family. I've learned a lot from guys in YouTube. I learn more every day. I have a lot of fun with these guys too. Like I said, it's a lot of fun talking crap to the guys, and you mean well. Like Bradley and Hunter, they become good friends of mine on Facebook, and we joke around a lot nowadays. We have a group text where we go back and forth on each other about our pigeons and about our chickens. And Bradley always got us a bunch of dung hills. And Hunter, if he was having a nice clear day, Hunter's birds wouldn't know how to get home. But anyway, I'd like to tag a couple people. I hope you play along, and when you're done, tag a couple people and ask them the same thing. Why did you get involved in these birds? How did you get involved in these birds? And why do you stay? First person I'm going to have to tag is one of the first people I started talking to on YouTube. Really good guy. This is John over there at Ham's Flight Kit Box. He's been a big help. I saw him. He started out just like I did. He had a very small kit box, I think in his backyard, where he lived in a homeowners association neighborhood, and I think now he's got it made. I'd love to hear how he started, who started him, and why. And there's another guy. Man, names are the worst thing on me. I could look it up real quick, but I don't have time. But On To Go Loft. I know most of the videos I've seen with him in the beginning were they rollers or tipplers or flights? But I see now that he's racing birds, so maybe I'd like to know why. Why are you racing birds? How did you get into this? And what keeps you in the game? Anyway, that's about it for me today. I got things to do. I just thought I'd do a short video and get this tag out of the way. I hope you guys will play along. Like I said, when you're done with your video, tag a couple other people. Let's keep this going. Y'all have a great day.